All right, how's everybody doing? Good morning for some of you on the West Coast. I'm on Atlanta. It's 12:30 our time. Can everybody hear me clearly?
Yep, loud and clear, Torrence.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining. It's an honor, honestly, to join you guys and kind of jump in and explain some of the trends and things we're seeing in what we call hot Atlanta. Atlanta's been on the news for some other things, but nonetheless, the real estate market has never stopped and has never slowed down, even amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. So just wanted to kick it off and share some trends with you. Again, I'm Torrence Ford. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, so I think that truly helps me with seeing the landscape of the city change. I went to FAMU, which is Florida A&M. That's my wife and two kids there. They're 7 and 9. I swam in college, and I still swim. I swim masters right now. And I'm the broker owner of RE/MAX Premier. We have about 15 agents. So I coach them on investing and trying to be the best they can in the real estate world. And I probably sell about 50 homes a year on my own. So just wanted to give you a little bit of my background there. This is kind of a layout of where we are in Atlanta. The RE/MAX Premier is in the top, in the northwest, northeast, south, northwest corner of the city, which we call the perimeter, which is 285. We're just outside where the Battery. We used to be SunTrust Park. SunTrust and BB&T merged. Now they're Truist. So we've got our pulse on the city, even though we're just outside, and I can get downtown in 15 minutes because of COVID. There's no traffic. So it's actually sped up the real estate. That's another thing that really helps speed up real estate sales, in my opinion, because traffic went down. Here's some numbers, you guys, of what's happened in Atlanta, right? Pendings have jumped like 4.2% just for looking at August 1st, y'all. It's a 4.2 bump from last year. Even the number of closings have gone up darn near 9,700, which is another 4.2% bump. So all my family members and friends, or just people that are naysayers in what we're doing with investing, they're like, why are you buying and selling? Well, this is why, because it's a hot market and things are going crazy a little bit. There are less listings withdrawn, and then there's just more eyeballs. I just read a story on how Zillow is seeing the most. I hear a delay in the back. Let's see, I'll keep talking here. But yeah, there's just more eyeballs going on. So you see the impressions are increasing even in our local MLS. So that's gone. Thank you for that. I'm just doing a breakdown amidst like the COVID pandemic. Even showings are up 6.8%, right? Which is 5.9% higher than it was last year. So you can tell that people are tired of being in their house, or they're really and truly analyzing their current space because they've been stuck. And what it's doing is it's causing more real estate sales. People are calling saying, yeah, we got 3 kids. It's time. The time is now. Or a lot of townhome buyers are like, it's time to get a house. So that's what's going to be amazing for investors getting in right now, looking to do the flip side of things. Atlanta's overall whole median price, it used to be $245. Things are ticking. Everybody's upset about their tax bills increasing. Why? Because we're getting equity. Now the median sales price is $290. There's about a 2.3 supply of homes right now. Even with the shortage, that's normal. If we go below that, we really have problems. The average sales price, like I said, is $300. The median is $290, and right now we've got a 5-year low, guys. It's about 18,000 homes available. I got in the business in 2005, and there used to be this big Metro broker sign on 85 North. It would say 100,000 homes for sale. And so when I first got in real estate, it was this digital board, and it would showcase how many homes were available for sale back when it was a seller's market. I'm sorry, buyer's market, not seller's market. 100,000 homes. So now we're only at 18. So times have changed out there for us. All right, I want to get into 6 top trends in the Atlanta market from an investment perspective, right? So one thing that I see a lot of investors doing, you got to buy and do Airbnb. Okay. Because of the COVID pandemic, I'm seeing a shift with people's leases ending and they're not knowing what their futures hold. So what's scary is they're actually doing Airbnb and just extending in 2-week periods. I actually own a duplex and we got frustrated with a tenant on the left side. My partner and I, we renovated the left side. We put an Airbnb. We staged it, decorated it, and we hired a host and she manages it for us. And it's been crazy. Last month we had every day booked -1. So I'm excited to see how that continues. So we're continuing to push the Airbnb model and people are doing really well with it. So that's one model that you can do. Second model that some people are doing if you choose to come to the Atlanta market would be just to buy new construction, rent it out for 1 to 2 years and sell it. There are a lot of, I don't want to say national builders, but they build probably 1,500 to 3,000 homes a year. So they're getting good dirt, great communities, great subdivisions that are appreciating. So a lot of my clients are writing a $1,500 earnest money check on dirt. They're allowing 6 to 7 months for their home to be built. But what's really cool is every 2 to 3 home sales, that builder is increasing the sales price by $3,000 to $5,000. So my clients are getting equity before the sticks and bricks are actually put up on that house. So it's really cool. I just sent 2 emails out today. Within a 1-year period, I've got 2 investors that bought in one community called the Villages of East Point by Rockhaven Homes. They've got almost $40,000 in less than 1 year, and they're cash flowing probably $400 to $500 a month right now. So all within 12 months. So really great strategy right now that I'm seeing people do well with. The third trend is obviously the traditional buy and just keep a long-term tenant that's in there. There are people in the city that just, they've been in their properties for 10 years or 8 years. So we're helping them secure the property, and we're revising the leases a little bit because obviously from 8 years ago, it's not market rent. Either you stay and you pay new market rent, or we're going to ask you gently to leave. And right now, every rental the listing that we put out, rentals are going within 4 days to 10 days. I'll put a new rental listing up and I'll get 37 calls in one day, even on the from $900 up to $3,000. So for some reason, it's really weird. No matter the sales price right now, people are willing to rent right now in the city. Here we go. Number 4, buy low, renovate, and sell to hedge funds. So this is a strategy where you can just pick up a house, do minimum light cosmetic, get it rent ready, get the property to a position where they can put a tenant in. You don't have to do an HGTV renovation. We're just talking $20,000 to $30,000, and you sell it privately to a hedge fund group. So there's probably 4 to 5 hedge fund groups that we have access to in Atlanta. As long as they can meet the 10% rule, they're happy to buy the house. So if they can secure that 10% rule, they will write you a cash offer and close in 14 to 21 days. So that's been pretty cool to, double sales a few times. Okay. And also, if you can secure a renter in advance, I think that also increases. They're willing to pay a little bit more. So one hedge fund out of 5 is willing to do like a 1.5%. I'm sorry, why did I say 1.5? I'm sorry. They're willing to go probably between 11 to 13% instead of the 10% rule, just to be a little bit more aggressive. When COVID hit, the properties that they had under contract, they still closed, but they did a discount. I had one under contract just like this, one of my long-term rentals. We were under contract at the 140 mark. When COVID hit, they actually still closed, but they closed at 129 instead of 140. I didn't know what was going to happen with COVID, so I sold the property that I picked up for $62,000 4 years ago, and we still did well. So they're still buying, and now they're back in full force. Number 5. So this is a unique strategy where you don't do anything. You just buy an old shack or tear down. You buy it, you board it up, you just cut the grass, and you sell it 2 to 3 years later. I've met some people at different real estate seminars that have been doing that and have had success. They're having success on this in the 40 to $60,000 range. It's getting really slim to find those, but the people that are, they're just holding. Or the flip side to this trend is they're just, as they have extra cash or extra time, they may just take as we call, a slow roll towards doing the renovation to those properties and selling years later. Okay. Number 6, a lot of people are doing this. I participate in buying vacant land, building new, and then flipping the property. Right now, there's more vacant lots actually out there or tear downs than there are homes that are currently rented. It's easier to get the vacant lots right now. So the negative right now is that a lot of the municipalities are a little bit slower due to COVID. It's really silly, but I think they're getting their acts together because they're via email only. In Fulton, city of Atlanta, at one moment, there was just, you couldn't talk to anybody. I remember having to do a city arborist inspection where I did a FaceTime meeting with the inspector. He was at his house. He made me go out to the site, put on my muddy boots, and walk the vacant lot, the wooded lot, to show him where trees are marked. So they're getting creative and using technology to keep the pulse and keep the ball moving forward. So I'm excited to see that. And as most of y'all know, the rates are ridiculously low. So Atlanta's a great place. Last week, as of the 31st, I did have an FHA buyer secure 2.25. I've got 2 gentlemen that downsized from their townhome. They got 2.25 on a 15-year conventional. Scary enough, investors are able to just get traditional loans at 4.5. Speaking on investors, this being an investment seminar, another real cool trend in Atlanta with those rates would be buying a second home. A lot of people don't realize it, but you can go get a second home here in Atlanta and put down 5 to 10% only. So maybe for your first investment property here in the city, it could be a second home, and I can help you talk through the mechanics of how many times a year you have to visit that property to be within guidelines of the lender, making sure you don't do anything unethical there. And then the old faithful 30-year conventional, 2.85. I mean, rates are great right now, so jump on it. These are my top hard money lenders. For those that don't know or are new to investing, hard money is basically they close quick, but they're what your grandfather would call a loan shark. But they do fund quick. You can close in less than 7 to 14 days. They used to charge 14%. A lot of them have come down, believe it or not, and they're doing 9 to 12% based on your experience. Atlanta Private Lending, James Melton is amazing. It's just better than working with a community bank or a bank because you get your money instantly. They do wires, and they'll fund subdivisions for you. If you've got the deal, they'll fund it. So it's a lot less red tape. A lot of these guys don't even have a minimum credit score. They just do it based on the deal, which is a lot better than having to go and beg for the monies from a community bank or a traditional bank. All right, best, if you're asking, Atlanta's huge. Where should I go? Where should I post my money? I would say City of Decatur is great. It's thriving. You've got walkable areas. 30032 was one of the biggest heavily renovated zip codes in the country at one point. Every turn you took, you would see a dumpster in that, in that area. It is pretty cool. Obviously, the city of Atlanta. I live in Smyrna, Georgia. It's great. Smyrna was voted Money Magazine top suburb to live 2 years ago. Dallas, Georgia is a suburb, probably 40 minutes north. That area is booming. For $350, I mean, you can get a mansion out there. It's great. Douglasville, it's quiet, it's charming. You have larger lots out in Douglasville, so you get a different vibe. Fairburn, same thing. It's affordable. Fairburn is really close to the airport, so people love Fairburn. Ellenwood is a pocket where prices just haven't arisen yet, so I feel like that's more of a 5-year trend with Ellenwood. So, all right, I got about 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna keep rolling here. Just in general, back to the idea of investing in Atlanta, it's kind of scary. Rents are, I mean, you can rent your house instantly. Now you can't get really anything. I looked in the MLS altogether, and there were only 36 rentals under $1,000 for the whole state of Georgia. The average rents are now like $1,450 to $1,500, which allows you to go grab a property in Atlanta for $110 to $130 and cash flow really well. Here's some deals. Here's a property. This was a new construction. They bought it for $199, put $39,000 down, 4.5 rate. Cheap taxes because the first 2 years is based on the land value because it's new construction. So the tax bill really isn't out yet. Insurance, $800 for your hazard insurance. So your mortgage is around $1,000. You're renting from $1,650 to $1,800. This particular investor is making about $623 a month cash flow. Here's another one. This house just went under contract. It's $129,900. You put $25,000 down, you can have another $600 cash flow. So you don't have to buy at $200,000. You can play ball and secure properties in the 130 mark as well. And then last but not least, multifamily. Ooh, good luck if you can find one. They're hard. It's hard as hell to find. They're overpriced when you do see them. So if you can find a great deal, then we'll help you analyze it. But right now, we'll go case by case. But this was a specific deal that was amazing, where it's in Reynoldstown on Chester Avenue. And $439, $109 down, and you're making around $1,100. Final 4 tips. I've got 2 minutes left here. Find a great contractor. That's what's going to help you stand out, and we can coach you. We've got a good 4 to 5 that have been performing well with helping investors manage 1 to 3 deals at a time. Good market deals aren't always the best. I love wholesalers. I get emails every morning from some of them, but what end users don't understand is sometimes those deals are being flipped 2 to 3 times where the equity is being squeezed. So you may not be getting a great deal. And then never give up a huge sum. I've got a 5th tip that's really cool. One of my contractors, we charge in the scope, he'll say he'll have a project done in 8 weeks. Well, one thing we've been doing is if he goes beyond that 8 weeks, we start billing him at $115 a day until that job gets done. And that way it just keeps things moving really smoothly. One of my clients, Dr. Solly, great guy. One day he said to me, he said, Torrence, real estate is a good game. You just have to stay in it. You just have to stay in it. You have to stay in it. So you're not always gonna hit a home run. I got into flipping and investments because when the market tanked, I was forced to rent. So I got into it off of mistakes. So now I'm able to coach and train and mentor others, doing it their way, doing it the right way as well. So thank you for letting me talk your ear off this morning. Please follow us on Remax Premier GA. And I also have a YouTube channel with tips and tricks, but I think it's cool things on there like how to sell an overpriced listing. So it gives you an insight to how I'm able to still maneuver with finding inventory or selling an overpriced listing when my seller won't allow me to reduce the price, but we're still having a win-win scenario. So any questions out there? Let's go to Q&A here. Average rent rate right now from Tracy, like I said, it's about $1,400 to $1,500. Will you make sure you are the first to, okay. Do you have any good property managers? We have a team of 3 individuals here with the TLF group at my firm. And right now we manage about 15 to 16 properties. So we can hold your hand and be turnkey for you. All right, next question. Let's see, from Tracy, it says, you mentioned hedge funds need to go by the 10% rule after you buy, renovate, sell. What does that mean? So the 10% rule would mean, let's do some math here. I grab a calculator. It means that if the rent is $1,300, you multiply that times 12. That's 15. That's probably 15. That means they'll give you, all right, so let's do this again. $1,300 times 12 is $15,600. So it means that they'll probably give me they'd be willing to give me an offer for $156,000 on that property, is what I'm saying as far as what they're looking for. Some will go a little higher than that. So some hedge fund groups may pay 160 to 165. So.
Hey Torrence, we're just pause there.
Thank you.
Great presentation, by the way. Thanks for answering questions. So we want to actually bring the attendees who's asking these questions on live so they can ask you directly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So no worries. Yeah, you were rolling. That's cool.
Hey, you're in the driver's seat. Tell me where to go.
No worries. I think you answered Tracy's question already, and then also Mindon's question here. So
fantastic.
I don't see any other questions for you on the Q&A chat. Again, I want to remind everyone who's just joining or joined a little late that if you want to ask the speaker any questions, go ahead and click on the Q&A tab on the top right of your screen. Put your just state your name and where you're from. We'll go ahead and call you out, and then Michelle will go ahead and open up your video so you can ask Torrence directly from here. Because there's like the chats are getting blown up right now, so I believe just so I can funnel this through here. So I think Brian Chu asked a question in the public area here. Looks like okay, Brian, if you go ahead and put your question in the Q&A tab, but for further questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and just let Torrence know. So Brian asked, what do you charge for PM, both in terms of monthly and lease up fees?
So 8%. I mean, I think what I've learned is that if you kill people on the front end, they'll never come back and work with you. And that's kind of what I realized. I'll say it a different way, y'all. When I used to be like this, my income was restricted. Now I help people and give, and it just comes, it overflows and it reciprocates. So 8% is what we normally charge. And on the lease up, it's usually first month's rent. And then maybe after the 24th month, we may do like a half month rent. But it's flexible, we're negotiable, but those are our terms, because we usually try to find people that stay. And then we do 3% increases on the rent, which helps all of us, so that you're not that investor that has a house where you're like, well, Sally's been in the house for 10 years and she's only paying $600 a month. We do 3% escalators each year, which keep everybody happy. Well, it's one of those numbers that doesn't push people away, but the investor feels it as their taxes may increase, or they may have some, some expenses incurred from whatever happens with the property.
Thank you for that question. Another tip for the attendees here: if you can please unlock your cameras at the top of your screen there on the camera button. Just go ahead and click that to on, and from off to on. And then once Michelle calls you out, we'll get you over there, and you can answer or actually ask your question directly to Torrence. So, okay. Great. So it looks like another question came in from Q&A. Tracy has a question for you. Her question is, unless Michelle is gonna get them unlocked. Let's see. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool feature that we could see the like Tracy. That'd be cool. I love this platform, by the way. This is a cool platform. I'm good.
Okay. Tracy, can you hear us right now?
Should be able to come on.
Oh, Brian's on.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just asking the question about the property management and
okay.
trying to figure out this system.
So, Brian, I think we're going to switch over to Tracy if you don't have any further questions.
No, I'm sorry. That's fine. I'm just messing with this a little bit.
Okay, if you can turn off your camera for me, that'd be great. Thank
Brian's
you.
having fun. Brian, it's okay. We were having fun yesterday on our trial run. So,
Tracy, if you'd like to turn on your camera on the top, I have already given you access. So let's give Tracy a second so she can hopefully join us. Your camera again, Tracy, is unblocked. So if you go on the top where it says on or off, you should be able to go on and join us. I see that your mic is on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect.
There we go.
can hear you.
Great.
Hi guys,
Tracy.
sorry, my internet's a little spotty, so turning it on would crash this whole webinar.
No worries.
Hey Torrence, thank you for your
Hey.
time. Another question here is, do you have any tips for new out-of-state investors? So for example, how do you manage negotiations, find the home, find the property manager if you're in California but want to invest in Atlanta?
Tips. I mean, you know, the biggest tip is just really having an agent that's boots on the ground to help you, because sometimes I'll list a house, a really hot house, and it seems like the agents with clients actually secure the deal before an investor. It seems like they may be 12 hours behind. So tips would be to A, work with a realtor here that knows investments, that's actually investing in real estate too. I think that makes a big difference. You know, it's kind of like why work with an agent who's not a homeowner? But other tips would be to set alerts for properties. I know a lot of folks use Redfin. I hate to say our competition, but what's cool about the Redfin app is it lets me know when a house hits the market within 15 minutes versus Zillow and Homes.com and Realtor.com. It'll tell me within, you know, maybe 12 hours. I just feel like certain sites are a little bit faster, just to have that cutting edge. Manage negotiations. You've got to have a clean offer. So, all right, let me be very specific. How do you manage negotiations? We have a home inspector ready to go into the house, so we're not asking for 10 days to inspect. We're only asking for 2 days. We're doing strong earnest money, and you know we're not lowballing right now. The idea of lowball is done. You're going to get left if you're trying to lowball by $20,000 and $30,000 in this market right now, because we're in a national housing shortage. So it's tough. I see. Oh, Tracy, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Tracy. I think we're going to take one more for now, and that is from Stephen T. So, Stephen, it's up to you. We have unblocked your mic and your video. Feel free to come on either just by voice or by video. Going to give Stephen. We see that you have a question. Stephen T.
I see one from Anthony as well.
Okay, I will then go to Anthony right now, since we couldn't get Stephen. And keep in mind, speakers, you can also continue the dialogue. So Anthony, I just unblocked your microphone and your video if you would like to ask your question directly to Torrence.
Oh, he actually Anthony put he's on a desktop with no mic or camera.
Got it. All right. Well, let's go ahead.
I'm going to read his question here. He says, are there any strict tenant rights laws or any tenant protections regarding increase or evictions, rent increase? So in reference to rent increases, no. Not at this moment. I just sat in a 3-day property management class earlier this year from Kathy McDaniel. She's just a staple in our real estate community. She has a real estate training academy, and I try to follow Kathy McDaniel and go to a lot of her classes to stay up on what's happening. But right now, the last research that my assistant did 3 days ago was that evictions in Cobb County are not happening for another 60 days. So you can't, if a tenant doesn't pay, you're just stuck. Secondly, in Fulton County, I think it's through end of September, which is the city of Atlanta. But you know what's going on, guys? My current property management clients were nervous, but out of every property that I manage, on the 16th, every single person paid their rent except maybe one person. But that one person, what we did was we basically took $200 off a month. And then we said in 90 days, you have to retroactively make it up the rest. And that one person made good on their payment plan. So I think what's great about this industry and real estate is you got to have a place to live. And it's home. It's what roots us. So you're not going to mess that up. And with most people working from home, you want to have a decency of living. So, and everything I'm managing, I'm not seeing any issues with people paying. right now. So I want to knock on wood with that, but luckily we haven't had to go to the eviction route with anyone. And that's from $900 up to around $3,100 with folks right now. It's so competitive, guys, that I have people that are willing to pay for the entire year and stroke one check for the rent. That's how competitive the rental market has gotten. So I want to make sure I'm clear on that. We're getting money up front for rental. We're not having a discussion about whether they can pay or not. So,
All right.
and Amazon's huge. So we got people that their stock is, they're doing stock splits and getting bonuses and getting overtime. My mother-in-law works at Publix. They get extra $300, $400 just for coming to work. So even though the news gives us doom and gloom on what's happening, well, what they're not saying is that how certain industries are killing it right now, and people are actually amassing wealth during COVID, but the news won't show us that. So I like to bring light to the grocery industry, real estate industry, stock industry, and just a few others as the other brokers will speak on today that are doing amazing. So we're not having issues collecting rent.
All right.
Yeah. But thank you for having me. Listen, going first is tough. It's nerve-wracking, but I'm excited.
You did great, Torrence. Thank you so much.